The Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings says he is pleased with the jury's findings. He issued a statement that read in part, "We should remember that the majority of the men and women who protect and serve are good public servants who care about the welfare of their communities. But when officers cross the line and commit criminal acts, they must be prosecuted no differently than the people they serve." And we are joined right now by Mayor Demings. Good to see you, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. I'm doing just fine, and I hope you are as well.
We are. Thank you. I know, just like everybody probably in the nation, you sat and watched those verdicts read yesterday. What was your reaction?
Well, I believe the jury got it right. There was an overwhelming abundance of evidence against Derek Chauvin in this case, and so I'm just happy to see that in this instance justice prevailed. Although I've spent a full career in law enforcement, I do believe in holding law enforcement officers accountable, especially when they use force or use deadly force.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I thought that was something that Sheriff Mina spoke about yesterday. And he said that, you know, everyone thinks there's this blue wall, but he said good cops are not afraid to call out bad cops. And he said that's something that he has seen a history of in his career. What do you think about that?
In my experience, he's precisely right. The majority of the individuals who wear the badge and police our streets, they're just good people. And we all who have served want to get those out of the business who don't wear the badge, who tarnish the badge in the name of justice. So the jury got it right yesterday, and I believe that from this point going forward, there's still something that has to be done, and that is when the sentencing phase occurs. We have to look to that at this point to ensure that Chauvin gets the appropriate sentence involved. Now, from a local, state, and federal perspective, I think there are opportunities for us to improve the delivery of services to law enforcement, to improve training. And so I'm going to continue to endeavor to work with our law enforcement agencies and the system in general to make certain that it is a just system for everyone.
What do you think about the George Floyd Policing Act that Congress is going to consider? Is this something that you think could make things better, more of an even playing field? What is the goal or the idea behind it?
The goal behind that is to improve the system, and it will take an objective view. And I believe that the men and women who serve in leadership roles throughout the country, especially those within the criminal justice system, understand that there is room for improvement. And so it really sometimes starts at the federal level to ensure that the playing field is level across the country, because the states have states' rights, and then there are local elected officials who make decisions on behalf of the resident state represent. So in order to have a standard across America, it does require some federal intervention at this point.
I know community policing is a big deal right now, and there's a lot of talk about improving community policing. Do you feel that that is what is going to build back trust between law enforcement and the community? And what about recruiting a more diverse law enforcement?
There's no question that the law enforcement agencies should reflect the diversity of the communities that they represent. So one of the best ways to bring about change is from within the organizations. And so it's going to be tough for law enforcement agencies to recruit and retain individuals. It is a dangerous job, after all. During my tenure, I had 11 different law enforcement officers who died in the line of duty. And so I know it's a dangerous job. And that alone creates some challenges for recruitment. But with the current tone of the time that we're living in, where there's this apparent us against them type of mentality that has developed in some communities, it makes it a difficult challenge to recruit and retain individuals in the law enforcement field. So I would also say that in our community, it is a community that has intertwined itself, where we at least see law enforcement intertwined in the moral fabric of the community. Community policing has been a long time a way of operating within our community, and it has been embraced where law enforcement officers endeavor to engage in positive interactions with the citizens and not just those negative interactions. I think that when a crisis occurs, if you don't have good, solid relationships prior to the crisis, you're going to get ripped apart. And so in this community, we're going to continue to work on opportunities where we can engage. And that starts from engaging with our youth and in the community right up to every other segment of our community. And so community policing, I can tell you, has long been a part of the culture here within our community.
We so appreciate your time this morning. Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.